Hi guys, welcome back to Origami Twist. Today's video is 8 household items that live in my craft room. Number 8. Magazine case. Now, not only do I keep craft magazines in my magazine holder box thing, but I'd like to point out something about the shape of this box. It is a beautiful curve, which is fantastic when you are trying to make a beautiful curve on your scrapbooking pages and want a template but haven't gone out and purchased one, or don't have one that's a shape you like. Just trace the side of your magazine box. Pop out your magazines, trace it, pop them back in again, and there you go. Built-in template. Right, so there's number 8. Number 7. Now, these are in no particular order, and this is one of my favorites. It's a circle template, and I get most of them from the kitchen, but basically everything that you could possibly want size-wise for circle shapes is in your kitchen already. And perfect example of that is a glass. This is a plastic picnic glass. It stays in my kitchen most of the time unless I'm crafting with it, but because it's on an angle, it's created on an angle, it makes a perfect frame and mat for photos for scrapbooking. All you have to do is trace the photo, trace a circle on the photo with the bottom of the cup, and then trace the top of the cup on scrapbooking paper, and because that's a little bit bigger than the bottom, it makes a beautiful mat for your photos, and it's free because you already own the cup. So any cups you've got or any containers you've got that have a little bit of an angle on it would work great for that. So play around with the different containers you've got. It's a really neat tip. Now, along with that, things like I've got my Vegemite jar here, or a peanut butter jar, or any spice jars, that sort of thing. They also have really great different sizes for circles. The Nutella jar actually is great too. I should have brought that in because it's actually a different shape. It looks a bit like one of those apothecary shapes that are fairly expensive if you're buying templates. All you have to do is trace the jar. Works great. And then when you're finished, put it back in the cupboard. Or if you've got an empty one, keep the empty one in your craft room. Okay, number 6. A toothbrush. I love the toothbrush, and not just for cleaning your teeth, obviously. I have separate ones for that, but this particular one, it lives in my craft room, and what you can use it for is spraying. You probably remember that from primary school or elementary school. Spraying paint onto your paper makes a great splatter effect. You can use it to scrub rubber stamps and different things that had paint on them and you don't want paint on them anymore. They're great for scrubbing, and they're great for different applications and textures with clay and that sort of thing. So, fantastic tool is the toothbrush. Now, along that same line, number 5 is makeup brushes. Once you're finished with your mascara, I'll show you. How great would that brush be to use it with your craft projects? Fantastic, really neat textures. Again, same thing, you can use it on your clay and texturizing, wet paper and then putting a texture into it. It's really fantastic. And the same thing with a doe foot applicator lip gloss brush. Now, obviously you would wash these with hot soapy water before using them because they've got makeup on them. You want to make sure that's off. But the doe foot applicator is fantastic to use as a dauber with ink on the edges of papers. And because you've got the handle on there, it gives you really great control with application, just like it does when you apply it on your lips. So makeup brushes is number 5. Number 4 is actually one of my favorites, and it is a team of 2 household items that, when put together, create a really fantastic tool that is extremely low cost, and in one of the cases it's actually usable in other parts of the house when you're not using it. Basically, what I do is I take a kitchen sponge, which is very inexpensive. You can buy a box or a bag with several of them, even at the dollar store or something like that, or a discount store, and trim off a piece of it, and then use a clothespin to pinch it, and then you can use it wet or dry and apply paint and all sorts of things to create really neat background textures, or to ink the sides of, again, a piece of cardstock. Really neat tool, works extremely well for all things crafty. And again, very inexpensive. You can reuse the sponges, just wash them again, hot soapy water. And the clothespin works as a great handle, gives you a lot of control with your work. So that was number 4. Number 3 is one of my favorites. This is a ribbon holder, and it was basically free, except for a little bit of gift wrap, because I used the empty box from my tissues. So I used up all the tissues, and instead of throwing it in the recycling bin, I just cut out part of the top and left the rest of it there. I did the top because there's already a hole in it, so it's really, really easy to cut. And then I wrapped it up in gift wrap, just like as you would with a present, tucked it under, and put an elastic around the bottom to hold on to the ribbons, and popped all my ribbons in there. Now, if you'd like a tutorial for this, let me know in the comments below, but it is fairly straightforward. Just wrap it up and away you go. Cut into it and fold it down. So again, I love this one. It's free. You can make as many as you like. The only limiter is obviously how many empty tissue boxes you have. So really fun. Number 2 household items that live in my craft room are erasers. Not only the erasers that live on the back of your pencil, but also the big mistake erasers that you have that are by hand. These particular 2, obviously the pencil ones are circular, which makes a fantastic dot pattern with ink on your scrapbooking, or paint as well on anything that you happen to be painting. It makes a really great perfect circle. And of course the rectangular one makes a perfect rectangle. You can also use kids erasers that they sell they sell at the toy store, or around back to school time. They have children's ones that are heart-shaped and all sorts of things. Again, it's like a built-in rubber stamp, and they work really fantastically. So, is that even a word, fantastically? They work really well anyway, so really neat. So erasers are my number 2. My number 1 household item that lives in my craft room are the various papers and foils that live in your kitchen. So in this case, I've got waxed paper, I've got parchment baking paper, which has a really neat texture, that's one of my favorites, and aluminum foil. Now I brought this one in actually in the box because I also wanted to mention that little metal edge that's used to cut the aluminum foil works great. Once the box is empty, you can lay it out flat on the edge of a table and use it to break off pieces of cardstock and give the cardstock or paper a little bit of texture rather than just a straight cut. Gives a little bit of texture. So that definitely saved those as well. Be careful with them because they're sharp, but they're really fantastic for giving you some more edge texture with your craft projects. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you feel like it, please feel free to make a list of your top 8 household items that live in your craft room or your craft closet or wherever you store your craft supplies. And I hope you have a really great day. Please feel free to subscribe if you like the video. I've got lots of tutorials and constantly coming up with new ones, so I hope you enjoy it. And I hope you have a beautiful day. Take care, guys. See ya.